Go for it.
Gotcha. Well, hello and welcome to Music City Mix. I'm Chris Wilhite. This is Donnie Noland. We are your hosts on this journey through all things Middle Tennessee, from real estate and renovations to politics and sports. If it happens in the Middle Tennessee area, we're going to talk about it. All, of course, while enjoying a nice glass of bourbon. So pull up a chair, crack open your own bottle, and let's get this thing started. Donnie, what are we drinking today, sir? Tell us about it.
Well, I left you the last time I was out there. That's Stag Junior, and I got one right here. I don't know if you can see it on my camera. My camera's got my background, doesn't like to get in there that much,
Well,
but
yeah,
I
you got
got
to
one
stick it
too.
right in front of your body there.
I gotta get it right.
There
There we
you go.
go. There we go. So we're gonna pour that over a little cube of ice, not much. A nice little rock, as per
Now, me
se. That
personally, I've got the king ice in there.
I got the king ice, but I got a
I got
small
the
because I've
there
already
we go.
I've already had a drink. Not of that, but I had some water. But
That doesn't surprise me even kind of.
I haven't had this. Actually, we did have me and you had it at a bar, didn't we?
Yes, yeah, we had it out
We
there.
did.
What's that place in Murfreesboro?
That would be not Party Foul. That would be Champy's.
Yeah.
Champy's right there in Murfreesboro. And I got to tell you, I love chicken tenders. They got some of the best. Not real hot. They're just chicken tenders. You know, I the little girl in there had problems opening it, and she popped the
That was
popped
funny.
she popped the cork down in the bottle, and she goes, I don't know what to do. I was like, give it here and give me a wine opener. I got you.
Yeah.
And
No,
the manager goes, you've done this before. I said, yes, ma'am, I have. I know how it goes. So here's to you, buddy. Cheers.
Cheers, my friend.
Man, that's smooth.
Oh yeah.
Woo.
Oh yeah.
Got a little kick on the back end, but man,
Well, do you know how you know much about this bourbon?
I can tell you a little bit about it. This is from that good old company called Buffalo Trace. If you know anything about Buffalo Trace, it is America's oldest brewery. And
I've noticed
if,
we tend to gravitate towards them quite a bit.
yeah, they usually tend to have a good selection.
Yeah.
It is owned by Sazerac. Sazerac owns all the Buffalo Trace stuff.
Yeah.
But it is one of their allocated bourbons. It doesn't come out very much. I think I usually just see it around Christmas. So it's obviously a hard to get bottle. It, you know, I don't even know what it retails for. I think it retails at like 90 or $100. I
Yeah, I
paid
was gonna
one.
say I thought it was like 79, somewhere around that area.
Yeah, I paid I think 149 on this. And you know, it is oh man, it's got a little bit. Now we've talked about this before. My palate is that of a country boy. So if you tell me this has got toffee and chocolate and vanilla and fudge and strawberry, man, I ain't gonna tell you all that. I can tell you that it's pretty smooth on the front end, got a little bit of burn on the back end.
Does
Tastes
have
like
that.
it's what about what do you think it is? About 110 proof? I didn't even
Oh
look.
yeah, it might even say on here, man.
What's
Let's
it
see.
say? I'm guessing it tastes like 110.
It's barrel proof. I know that.
Yep, this is the junior.
We're looking at 127.
That's why it's got a little burn on it.
That's why it's got a little burn on the backside.
Hey, I don't even look at the proofs. I get some of these, and I've heard good things about them. I actually got 2 bottles of this. I left you one out at your place. I got one here. Uh,
I really ought to look at that before I fill half of my glass up with it.
I got 3 fingers left. I started with 4, so that tells you anything. We're gonna have a good night.
I think so. Yeah, yeah.
But I'm not like we talked about. I'm not gonna be one of those guys that can tell you, you know, I'm not. I can whiff it. My nose has been broken so many times and deviated septum and all that. I have a hard time smelling good stuff. I can smell bad stuff pretty easily because I know I stink. But other than that, I can't give you the notes and all that like everybody talks about. I'm just gonna tell you if it's.
I think most of those people are full of it.
Maybe I can tell you that I can taste if it tastes good. Like I know what a good bourbon tastes like. I've had some really high end bourbons. I've had some high end scotches. I've had some scotches that were $200, $300 a pour. But I can't tell you I've ever tasted a blueberry in a drink or a
No.
or a fudge nougat or whatever. But I can give you smokiness. I can give you
Yeah.
sweetness. I can
Sweetness is
give
the
you,
biggest thing.
yeah. So in this one, it's got a richness to it. It's got a deep, like a deep flavor. And then as you swallow, you get that burn
It's right on the back of your throat too. That
that
burn is.
tells you, I got a little something for you. And in about 20 minutes, you're gonna know it. I call it kick, but whatever.
Little bite, little burn. That's what I like with them. I can
But
tell the
but
differences in my bourbons because of the sweetness. My go-to is Woodford. Woodford's a lot sweeter than these are, in my opinion. It's also a lot less expensive. So, as you pay a little bit more for your bourbon, you get a little less sweetness, a little less of the oily taste, I guess.
well, I don't know. Eagle Rare's got that sweetness to it. Um, Weller Special Reserve has a little bit of sweetness to it. That Weller CYMB is probably got, and I might be saying it wrong, the white label. I can't tell
I think
you.
it's CYPB.
See what create? I thought it was create your own bourbon.
It's create your. I don't remember what it is, but I think it's CYPB.
It is CYPB. What does it mean?
I have no idea. Create your perfect bourbon, maybe.
Perfect bourbon. That's it. Create your perfect. God,
I
you're a
like it.
smart boy. You're a smart boy. Um, but I'll say this: it has the most flavor of any of the Weller collection that I've had,
Mm.
and I've had them all. I haven't had the William LaRue and the Daniel Weller, but I've had the single barrel, the 12, the 10, the special reserve, the 107.
Well, like we talked about last week, we had all of them at one sitting, like 6 times.
Yeah. I mean, but I've had the even going up to the Pappies. I've had the 10, the 12, the 15, the 18. But that CYPB, man, that thing is it's got the flavor for you. I
Yeah.
think anyway. So my
Yeah,
favorite is definitely my favorite.
Well, I tell you what we did. I went to a little concert with Austin Smith from Party Foul this past week. Somebody that works for him at one of his stores has it's that band that Kill Switch something. It's like one of those screamo type bands, I guess.
Okay. Yeah.
Anyway, they kind of sound like that. It's that kind of music, which I can listen to the music part of it. You don't really understand the words or whatever.
Right.
But so they were in that bar that's below Top Golf in downtown Nashville. So we went in there and we got there a little bit early. So we went up to the bar upstairs and they had, for the first time, I've been trying to find it everywhere. And I'll go to places that people tell me, they have this, but Macallan Scotch 12-year.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, normally you go in and it's like $45 for a single pour of the 12-year, and it's $80 to $100 for the 25-year, and
Right.
they had it was $11 for a single pour of the 12-year Macallan. I was like, okay, so
That's
we sat
about
there,
right.
and that's my first time having it. I've wanted it forever. If you ever watched the TV show Suits, that was always what they drank.
Yeah. Macallan 18, Macallan
Yeah.
25.
And so I was like, I really would love to try. So I finally had it, man, and it absolutely lived up to the hype. I'm normally not a Scotch guy, but it lived up to the hype. I liked it. It was good.
Scotch to me is, and you got Johnny Walker Black, Johnny Walker Blue. Those are good. If it's not that, I'm done. I can't go to the low end scotches. After that, I am perfectly okay drinking a high end scotch. I just don't want to pay that much for it. And it's hard to find.
Yeah.
So, it's, if you're telling me that, you find a 12-year Macallan at $11, I'm in. Sign me up. I think it's I think it's a very good sipping scotch.
Mhm.
Where you're just sitting back, but that's like tequila. I don't want to drink low end tequila. After having good stuff, you don't want to go back. I
Yeah.
mean,
I
maybe
have
I'm
a
a
hard
snob
time with
now.
tequila regardless, but I mean yeah,
Well,
you don't want
at
low end tequila at all.
in the coming weeks, we're going to sit you down with a bottle of Casa Dragonis,
Okay.
and it's going to change your mind about tequila.
What's it called?
Casa Dragonis.
Casay Grugonis?
Dragonis, like a dragon.
Dragonis. Okay.
Dragonis. For
Okay.
my Spanish speaking people, Casa Dragonis. You got to roll the R.
Yeah, now we're gonna get all kind of hate for that one. Good job.
I'm an equal opportunity offender. I'll offend everybody.
Well, regardless, anyway, this stuff was pretty good. The only other scotch I'd ever had was either Johnny Walker Red. My cousin's really into Delwynny from Scotland.
Yep. Yep.
He went over there on a trip, and they had some sort of event going on at the distillery there, and they showed him and his dad, and of course whoever else was with them, how you're supposed to drink it. But like it was like 3 drops of water, out of a teardrop or an eyedropper.
Okay.
And so, he came back and he was like, I love this. And I was like, oh, that's pretty good, but I'll stick to my bourbon. But yeah, this Macallan now, I was impressed with it. And I mean, you drink a Weller, right? You drink a foolproof or something like that, and it's smooth.
Yep.
It is very smooth on your palate. This Macallan was like that. Like it was very smooth
Yep.
on the palate. It didn't, like this Stag, I mean 127, 128 proof, whatever I said it was. I mean,
126.
yeah, it's like it tastes great, but it's like, you're trying to swallow a damn locust trying to get out of this
I
shell.
mean, you're gonna have to know by the end of the night, if you have 2 or 3, call a designated driver.
Well, that's the
'Cause
good
you
thing
ain't
about all this snow is we're podcasting from the house. So,
snow. You got snow? Oh, we're talking about
man, I tell you
snow.
what,
We're talking about Snovid2024.
Snowvid, Snowmageddon, Snow whatever.
Yeah, people call it
Snowvid's been my
Snowmageddon.
favorite. I like that.
I like Snovid, because we're all forced to stay at home just like they want us to and not go to work. And bad things happen when you're all alone for 3 or 4 days. I mean, you're
So
going
you and
down
I are
rabbit
probably
holes.
about an hour 15, hour and a half away from each other. How much did you get down your way?
Oh, we got 5 inches easily.
Okay.
Easily.
All right. So I'm up. Go ahead.
I don't know how much we got. I didn't go out with a tape measure. I just know that I'm wearing tennis shoes and I got high tops and I got a size 12 and a half foot. So my high tops come up pretty high. And I stepped in and it came over the top of my shoe. So I know it's at least 5 inches. That's what she said.
That's what she said. Well, we did the whole, my wife went out into the field, got a little horse farm up here in Greenbrier. She went out in the field with the tape measure. So we got right at 7.5 inches up here. So
Most
we're on
you've ever
the
seen in your
ridge.
life.
We're on the ridge before you get into Nashville. I can't even talk to you.
She said it's the most I've ever seen in my life.
Oh man, most of my rulers don't go up that high. But yeah, but 7.5 inches, it was of course, my truck, your truck, both of them 4-wheel drive, can kind of go through it like it's nothing really, but it well, mine goes through it like it's nothing. And mine's a Ram 3500, big boy what I found out about my truck that I love?
Okay.
Check this out.
I'm gonna tell you what I hate. I'll tell you what I hate after you tell me what you love.
They cleared off Highway 76, which is the main highway that goes into White House, and I'm off a bunch of back roads. So I put it in 4-wheel high to get out of my house, and I'm driving down there's a lot of hills out here, and when I get out to 76, they cleared that road off that goes through the main stretch of White House, and so I found out that while I am rolling to a stop to get up to the stop sign, if I'll throw it in neutral, I can put it in 2-wheel drive without coming to a complete stop.
Yep.
And then, dude, I didn't know I could do that because I thought you had to come to a complete stop, put it in neutral, then wait for it to click over.
Now
And
you
so
do
I
that
tried
with him.
and then going back the same way when I came back to the house, rolling to a stop, I throw it into neutral, put it in 4-wheel drive, never missed a lick, dude.
Newer models will do that. I'll tell you what I hate. I don't have a 3500. Or 2500. I have a Ford F-150 Raptor. Put it in I've had it in 4-wheel drive out in the field, no problem. The difference is, if you don't know anything about the Raptors, they got a lot of torque. So every time I step on the gas, it wants to go. And that traction control is about a half a second too late. So it'll spin and then it'll traction control kick in.
Well,
By then I'm already spinning.
Well, there's your problem. If you're in 4-wheel drive, you don't have traction control. It doesn't, traction control shuts off if you're in 4-wheel drive.
Mine doesn't. That some bitch spins everywhere I go. And I might just have a lip.
That's your problem. You need to fix that some bitch.
but I'll tell you this, and people don't realize how torque heavy those Raptors are. Yeah. I've noticed pulling out of a driveway or out onto a road, if I'm not going to burn the tires up because I'm just not that guy, but I've noticed I can burn the tires up just because I'll pull out and get a little too much in the gas. I'm like, whoa, hey buddy, what are you doing out here? And it won't squeal them, it'll burn them. And I'm like, all right, that was a little too much turnover. So
dude, your truck would be the perfect woods truck, you know, like mine. I don't want to, because I do a lot of hunting and I don't, excuse me, the bourbon's coming back up on me. I do a lot of hunting, but I don't want to take my truck in the woods because it's going to scratch my paint. You know, I mean, my truck looks great. You know, it's 2020 Ram 3500, 8-foot sure. Bed, jacked up with big tires. But that, whatever that, it's not a paint. I don't know what that is that your truck.
I got the Rhino liner on the whole truck.
The whole truck, and it is
220 grit, 220 grit on 220 grit on the body, 80 grit on the fenders and the bed liner and the step ups all got 80 grit mirrors. Yep. It is as tough as you get. I have no problem going through the woods, running over small trees, not a scratch on it. Not a scratch.
I mean, I love it, dude. I mean, you pulled up, well, I don't remember where we went to that golf course out there off 840, Cedar
Creek.
Cedar Creek. That's what it was. No, it wasn't. Was it Cedar Creek?
I think Cedar Creek.
I don't know, whatever the hell that one was.
Pine Creek, Cedar Creek.
Well, we went out there, and that was the first time I'd seen that. And when we pulled up in it, and the place was packed, and you had gone around the backside of the driveway of the parking lot driveway and cut across the grass, and you went right between these bushes. Well, first I thought, okay, he's fixing to maul these bushes. That's somebody's been drinking since who knows what. But you didn't. You went right between them. But the bushes hit both sides, and I was like, yeah, man, that whatever that is, that Rhino liner, that's perfect because it doesn't do anything.
No, it doesn't scratch up. I had it done about a year ago, a little over a year ago. And I noticed about 6 months in that the hard edges, when it rolls over at the doors and stuff, were splitting a little bit. And I called him and I was like, hey, man, it's got a lifetime warranty. He goes, listen, those things may happen. Don't worry about it. Let it sit for a year and cure, and we'll fix any of that. And I literally took it over there. They took a heat gun to it, put some extra on it, put it back. It's been fine ever since. And I mean, I'm on 24 all day long. There are rocks flying up everywhere.
Yeah.
Hitting the front end.
And I don't see anybody else that does that. I mean, that's
no. I had a Durango that looked like somebody put a sandblaster on it from driving down 24, just speckled all over the front. Same thing in the Raptor. I'm clear as a day. I mean, doesn't scratch or nick or nothing. I mean, that thing's super durable. Hey,
about how much
shout out to
run you? What that run you?
About 4,500, and they did door jams underneath hood, under the fender wells. That's literally great. Took the truck apart. It was black already. I've always wanted it matte black. I had a matte black Hummer H2 that was wrapped, and the wrap just got beat up. It nicked, and I was like, man, if I'm gonna do this right, and I mean, I spent $3,000 on the Hummer. Yeah. Man, if I'm gonna do this, I want something durable. So it's been great. Love it.
Well, Snovid 2024. So we're coming into the season, coming into the year.
Coming in cold, not coming in hot.
Cold. You know, of course, everything under the sun. All the kids out of school for an entire week for 7 inches of snow. But I
got them right back there right now, just chomping at the bit to do nothing.
Well, you know, and I tell you what, I put this on my Facebook account 2 days ago. I sat here at this desk. I was looking at the MLS, trying to find some different properties for some of my clients. And I got up and I went to the restroom and I came back and I had my phone in my hand. And so while my phone is in my hand, I'm looking all over my desk for my phone that's in my hand. I turned the
Okay.
light on my phone on to look behind my desk for the phone that's in for the phone. I had to get out, dude. Cabin fever. I don't know what it was. I was looking for my phone behind my desk
With
with
your
my
phone.
phone's light that was on my phone.
Had you had anything to drink?
No, that's what's
That's
terrible.
sad.
This
That's
was like
sad.
10 o'clock in the morning, man. It
Oh, hey,
was
listen.
bad.
If you want to go stir crazy, sit in the house for 3 days by yourself.
Yeah.
You'll go stir
You
crazy.
know, and I'm still trying to work from home, and the kids here, the dog's here, and for a minute the wife was here, and so everybody's either coming in, coming out, and it was just it was crazy.
Make you
I
go
don't
stir
mind the
crazy,
snow.
bro.
I like the snow, but I want to see it for like a day or two and then go away.
Yep.
But
That's me.
so I was looking at some of the stuff that happened around Middle Tennessee, as far as the snow, and outside of the fact that Tennessee is just, they are not prepared, for anything like that. We don't have the capacity. We don't have the tools and the utilities to be able to, everybody up in New York's like, I mean, out of school a week for 6 inches. Are you kidding me? But we
Yeah.
just,
Right.
our our system of cleaning off the road is equivalent to somebody riding around with a bicycle with a snow shovel attached to the front of it compared to what they can do. So, we're just not
Yeah.
prepared for it. But on that note, I was kind of looking at some of the things that had happened. We set a record for peak power demand for TVA in Tennessee. 34,526 megawatts. And that was yesterday morning. The previous record was like 33,482, and that was set in August of 2007. That which was a
But that doesn't surprise me a bit.
yeah,
I mean, one, it got cold.
yeah.
Two, you know, I've seen a shift in Nashville's preparedness, and not just Nashville, Middle Tennessee. We've become less prepared. If you're from outside, if you're joining us from California or New York, you see a lot more preparedness for stuff like that. And we've kind of let it slack. I don't know if that's the government. I don't know if that's, just we haven't had those bad snows in a while. I think the last bad one we had was like 15,
Yeah.
where it was bad like
Yeah.
this. Most times snow is gone in a day or two. This one's stuck around for 4, 5. It's going to be here for 7. I mean, it ain't, we had some rain today, but literally the main road that I live on, I live right off the main road. The main road got cleared yesterday. My road got cleared today. And when I say cleared, I mean, they came in with a truck and salted and scraped.
I still haven't been
But I
cleared.
mean, I came into town Monday from Georgia, and it was starting, it was when I crossed the mountain, Monteagle Mountain, we call that the mountain. When I crossed, it started snowing, just like that. I got home at 8 a.m. By noon, the mountain was closed. They closed it. They said, we're done.
On 24, they did?
Yep, it got closed until
Really?
Tuesday afternoon. In fact, Monday night, I went out and grabbed some food and supplies, and the trucks were lined all the way down the interstate.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's like an 8 or 9% grade on that Pittsburgh side of that.
Yeah, it's a steep one. It's got the truck runoffs and everything, but they closed it. They were not prepared for it. They started too late, and it got out of hand quick. So it was closed until Tuesday afternoon. So a little over 24 hours. And it is one of the main thoroughfares in the nation. I mean, people don't realize that 24 comes all the way up from South
Horseshoe,
Florida.
yeah.
Yeah, 24
and
all the way
40
from South Florida, where all the ports are, in Miami and Tampa, and all the way up the coast. So yeah.
Well, so I was kind of looking through. Last week we talked about, and not to skip subjects, but hey, we're already looking at 20 minutes into this thing, and all we've talked about is our drinking. So I figure we go ahead and pull up some of the stuff that's going on around town. So let's go back with start off with the Titans. Last
Ooh.
week we talked about how Vrabel is out, and there's a lot of buzz going around about who is going to be the Titans' next head coach
Right.
and what's
We
going
got
on
some
with that.
interviews. Yeah, we got some interviews going on right now. The
So
surprising thing.
so from
Surprising
what
thing.
I'm finding, what I'm looking at, so the front runner, not really the front runner as this person is like in front of the line to get it, but like the most requested person between all of the teams currently being talked to by the Titans, Atlanta, Carolina, the Chargers, Seattle, Washington, is Ben Johnson, which is Detroit's offensive coordinator. He has been talking to. There's only one team that's got an opening that has not talked to him, and that's the Raiders, who has Antonio Pierce. But those two are kind of the well, not really Antonio Pierce, but Ben Johnson, kind of next in demand. You got Dan Quinn from Dallas. He's a defensive coordinator from Dallas. You got Mike McDonald, who's defensive coordinator for the Ravens, and Bobby Slowick, who's the offensive coordinator for Houston. Those are kind of the most in-demand people that the Titans have been talking to. Um, Me personally, I'd love to see Ben Johnson or
Um,
Antonio Pierce. That's my two favorites.
Here's the one that, and this just came out today. Brian Callahan, the OC for the Bengals, offensive coordinator for the Bengals, got his second interview. Second, so he's already had
Okay,
one in
okay.
person. He got his second. He's the front runner right now, as far as I know. The big surprising thing, Vrabel, who everybody said would be the number one candidate for all these places, is that one interview with the Chargers. He's got one interview with the Chargers. Nobody else is interviewing.
Yeah.
Why is that? Everybody talked about how good he was and how sought after he was. Obviously, the Patriots went a different direction. They promoted Mayo. Something tells me they know a little something.
Yeah.
Some of these GMs figured something out. And
Well,
if
I
you
mean,
look,
you said it a couple weeks ago, man. He doesn't have a great track record with the coaches that he hires for the team.
and
I
that's a
mean,
big
you
thing.
expanded on that quite a bit, and really, honestly,
If you,
it's not just us that sees it.
yeah, if you look at good coaches, they recognize their weakness and they hire a strength to counteract their weakness. So if I'm a big defensive head coach, I'm gonna hire a good offensive coordinator and hand that over. And you've
Yeah.
got guys that refuse to give up play calling that are offensive coordinators and they're too invested and they end up screwing up. So they have to designate that. You've got to understand that situation. And listen, I'm not a coach. I've never been a coach. I didn't even stay at a Holiday Inn Express last night. But from an outsider, I can look in and see the best coaches like Nick Saban who delegate authority. I mean, I've been a manager, I've been a general manager, been a district manager, been a regional manager. I know about delegating authority, and Vrabel just does not do that well. So, from an
Well, I gave you
outsider's
my
perspective,
top two. What do you think? The top two that had the best chance.
I'd love to see Pierce come in, but I think right now Callahan's the one. They see something they like in him.
Yeah.
He's the first person they bring in for a second interview. They didn't even look at Harbaugh. They requested it, but obviously Harbaugh's got
But
something in mind. So,
well, you think about it. Here's the issue with Harbaugh is that Harbaugh is going to come in and he is going to want to have an amount of control that Rand and Amy are not going to
yeah,
want to give
yeah,
up.
yeah,
And that's just pure and simple. That's what the problem is. We're not going to get Harbaugh. He's not even going to be a thought in anybody's mind because he is going to want more control than
yeah.
we're willing to give up.
And I get it. I mean, if you look at our track record over the last 6 years, as far as first round picks and second round picks and third round picks and how they haven't worked out, you don't want to give up that control anymore. I mean, you're like,
Yeah.
we pick
Yeah.
so many people that just are out of the league so fast. They're just not going to do it. I mean, I don't blame them. I mean, I wouldn't want to give up that control. I mean, you hire your general manager to make, those decisions. So let him have control of it. See how he works out. Let him team
Which,
build
on the
and then
same note, that's also why we never talked to Belichick either, because he would
oh,
want this.
sure.
Yeah.
Sure. I mean, but what was that movie that was about football and draft picks and it had Kevin Costner in it, and
Yeah, yeah, I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about. And the guy that Dennis Leary was
yeah,
the
the head
coach.
coach,
Yeah,
and he said it perfectly. I'll give you the team, you coach it. Let me make the picks. Let me build
right.
the team. And then at the end, after everything's said and done, he Leary wanted to quit. And he goes, "Still want to quit? Where's this team you think you can coach? Because the Browns are ready to go, and all we need is a head coach." He goes, "I can coach this team." Well, I mean, that's what you want. You want your head coach to coach the team you build. If you're a GM,
Yeah.
I mean, it's your job. You're the general manager. You're responsible for the hiring and firing, and you build the coach to you know, build your team after you, or coach your team after you. So I think it's spot on. We'll see how it works out.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. It's still wide open. The guy from the Beng can't think of the guy from the Bengals. What's his name?
Callahan.
Callahan. Thank you. That's he's not even in my top five, but I mean, it's
I
not going to
see
be
why.
a
I see.
terrible choice, but
Listen, I see why. He's responsible for the playmaking and the showmanship of the Bengals. Now, take Burrow out of the equation for being hurt. The things they do on offense is very flashy. They're very much a wide open, get the excitement going type of offense.
yeah,
Same as Houston Texans right now. They built the team around CJ Stroud. They've got some great wide receivers, Tank Dell and some of those guys, and Tank's hurt. Look what they're doing. They're like, you know what? We were supposed to be bottom of the barrel, but offense wins. It used to be defense wins championships. Now it's offense wins championships. Look at the 49ers. Look at the Chiefs. Look at the Bills. Look at, you know, the Bucks a few years ago. I mean, it wasn't the defense at one of the games. It's throwing the ball downfield, opening up the offense.
yeah.
It's changed in the last 5 years. And the other thing that happens is offense puts butts in the seat. Us getting a new stadium, playing in a showmanship offense puts butts in the stadium. And hey, Amy's spending her money, let her buy what she wants. I mean, I'm
Well,
okay with it.
that's true. I hope they don't go and hire a head coach on the premise of he will do what we want him to do. I hope they hire a head coach on the premise of he is going to coach a team that's going to roll to the Super Bowl. Because let's be honest, man. Titans have not had a team since early '90s, late '80s. We're not looking at. There's been so many times that everybody's like, I'm so tired of being a fan of this team because they make dumb decisions, and I can't understand half of. Well, I say I can't understand them from a fan standpoint. Now you look at other
Sure.
things like getting rid of all of our wide receivers over the past year. As a fan, I'm like, what the hell? What are we doing? And I understand. Right, right,
All
right.
right.
As a
Let's
fan, I can say that, but I can sit back, and think on it and look at it from a business standpoint and from a long-term standpoint. And I can understand why we did it, but as a fan, we're sitting back and like, golly, we're just cutting ourselves off at the ankles. So
until you see what AJ Brown did this week. Did you see it? Did you
yes,
see
I
it?
did. Yes, I did.
Deleted all. He made a bad Twitter post. Deleted it. Deactivated his Twitter. Then went
Like
on
it
to
doesn't,
his.
like it's not 50 million people that didn't see it.
Then Mister I will delete my Twitter went to his Instagram and deleted every post or picture about his Eagles. He's still there. He's still under contract, but he deleted it all. Anything about the Eagles, he's gone. And you're like, did the Titans see something in that boy that nobody else saw? I gotta wonder now. I mean, I didn't wonder 3 weeks ago. I was like, man, it's still a bad play. But now, after that meltdown, I'm like, what happened in the locker room? What happened before he got traded? I understand he
I
was on
mean,
a holdout. I understand he's
he
on a holdout for a
was,
contract extension.
and
But
he's
then
he's a 20-something year old kid, dude. Honestly,
I
I
totally
mean,
get it.
they
But I mean,
they don't realize how to conduct themselves in a professional manner, because honestly, they've gone through high school, they've gone through college, just completely being on top of the list. I mean, for lack of better words, being the shit. And so they get out here where everybody is, and so they still
sure.
think that they've got this high ranking, this high magnitude of presence that they really don't have. So,
But
I
for
kind of take
some,
all that with a grain of
yeah, but
salt.
for
Yeah,
for some reason, wide receivers tend to be the prima donnas of all of that. I mean, you don't ever see uh, a star quarterback completely go off the rails like a Randy Moss or Keyshawn Johnson or, God forbid, an Antonio Brown. You don't see a running back do that. You may see, who was it? Le'Veon Bell held out, and you saw a couple of running backs that kind of did that. But I mean, freaking wide receivers seem to think they are just Dion
but
and
now the Titans had their own running back that did that, and it pretty much, once it happened, it
CJ.
was done. Yeah,
CJ. Yeah,
Chris
I mean,
Johnson. Once that happened, he was done.
it,
And then of course we had the whole Pac-Man Jones thing. But
some about wide receivers, man. They tend to have
I just try to
more
take all
drama.
that with a grain of salt. But seriously, when you sit back from a fan's outlook on it, from a fan standpoint, my whole thing got blurry. I don't know what's up with that. But anyway, I guess I got too close to it.
Yeah, camera got blurred. You good?
But yeah. It's just looking like I seeing right now, I guess.
Hang on.
I
All
don't
right.
know.
Sorry about that. Little technical difficulties.
Yeah, it's called my big head getting too close to the camera. That was the technical
I mean,
difficulty.
can you lower the size of your head?
Probably. Okay, so well, speaking on, we were talking about Mike Vrabel and our thoughts on that. So, it'll be interesting to see where we go. The whole thing's kind of weird to a lot of folks anyway, who are they're not following the daily updates of everything. Mike
Sure.
Vrabel was coach of the year last year. I mean,
2 years ago.
yeah, 2 years ago. So it's kind of weird to some people, but honestly, I think it's a good move. I am very excited to see who we're going to get.
I'm too.
So, the other side of this, Nick Saban being out. So,
Yep.
first off, I would love to know your thoughts on them picking up DeBoer.
Not a fan. I get why he's there. I mean, he did a lot with Washington, and it is Washington. Let's be serious. Nobody wants to go to Washington. I've been to Washington. I hated it. It ain't a place to go. You're not going to vacation there. You don't really want to go there to live unless a business is there. It rains all the time. It's cold right now, so I get it. He was the sexy pick. I think this is one of those situations where he never wins a championship and he's gone in less than 5 years.
I think so too.
Um,
And you start off, you look at how this tenure's even starting. They have lost 6 of their 2025 recruits so far,
and had a couple enter the transfer protocol. They had one yesterday. So I mean, I think overall it's a backfire, but we'll see.
So
anybody's going to be a step down. Let's be serious.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, I'm a Tennessee fan. I can't stand Alabama. I would cheer for the Taliban if they were playing Alabama, but I don't discredit, and I know what kind of a coach Saban
is. Seven national championships. He has more first-round draft picks than he has losses in his career. That is insane. Over 45 first-round draft picks and less than 30 losses. Yeah. That's a big thing. 10-2 is his worst record. Won 9 of his 10 SEC championships. I mean, the list just goes on and on. I mean, he's got so many records, they'll never be broken. But so anybody was going to be a step down, but I think he's not a step down. I think he's a stumble, and it'll be interesting to see.
So here's what they've lost of those 6 that for the 2025. All right, 5-star nation's #1 leading edge rusher Zion Grady is gone. The number 93 player overall, he's a defensive end, Javian Hilson is gone.
Mhm.
4-star offensive lineman Mason Short, 4-star offensive lineman Dantrell Glover, 5-star wide receiver Jamie French, and 4-star defensive lineman Antonio Coleman. That's just from the 2025 recruiting crew. You know how many they have left? You know how many recruits for 2025 they have left?
Oh, there's no telling.
Two.
Not good.
That's all. And both of them, I mean, they're both 4 stars. They're both
Yep.
great. They have 2 from 2025. And then from different class, the Vols did pick up the tight end Miles Kitzelman. He's going to be actually committed to the Vols now, picking up for the Vols. So Vols have actually, man, the guy's name escapes me, and I wish I had thought about it before the podcast, so I could have looked it up. But there is another 5-star quarterback that is just gift wrapped orange and white, and looks like he's going to be coming in to be underneath Nico Iamaleava.
I think the biggest thing that you see in this, and I mean, I understand those recruits are big. Caleb Downs leaving is the biggest hit. That kid is going to be top 5 pick, guaranteed. I mean, unless he just falls off the face of the planet, which I don't see. But I mean, literally, Alabama has a full class worth of players in the transfer protocol already. I mean, you're talking about here's the people that have left. You got 2 quarterbacks, Tyler Buckner and Eli Holston. You got Roy Dale Williams and Malik Benson are both going to Florida State, wide receiver. Then you got Malik Benson, Isaiah Bond, Ja'Cory Brooks, Shaz Preston, Miles Kittlesman are all, wide receiver tight ends. Then you go down the line. You only got a couple of linemen on the offense, but you got 4 on the defense, couple linebackers, couple cornerbacks, and 2 safeties, all going. And they're not going to just anywhere. These are people that are going to Texas, Syracuse, South Carolina, Kentucky, Georgia. There's a couple going to Colorado. Hey, you got a big tight end, Miles Kittleson, going to freaking Tennessee. I know you got to like that.
Yep.
But I mean, Tyler Buckner said, I'll go to Notre Dame and play lacrosse. Right? What? Like, how are you a quarterback at Alabama and say, you know what, I'm gonna take a move to freaking Notre Dame and play lacrosse? That just tells me, man, you understand that when Saban left, it's gonna be a crap show. And I do not see a ton of players coming in. They're not lining up to come into the portal to get in. I mean, it's going to be a down year.
And that might change. I mean, if DeBoer comes in and if he puts together a top 10 season, if he puts together a 9 or 10 win season, then we're probably we're going to look at some sort of a resurgence maybe next year, maybe 2025, 2026. But I don't see things going well for them this coming year, and some of the 5 stars that are leaving, they're already talking to Kirby Smart. They're already talking to Josh Heupel. I mean, the rivals is where they are going, which honestly, in my opinion, is freaking weird that they're going to the rivals first.
Here's the thing for you. I'm gonna give you this.
Okay.
I think Alabama loses 6 games next year. It's early. I think they lose to Georgia.
Yeah.
I think they lose to Tennessee. I think they lose to Missouri. I think they lose to LSU.
Yeah.
I think they lose to Oklahoma. And then they have Auburn as their 6th game. And I think Auburn beats them next year. And if that happens,
I'm with you on 5 of those. I don't know that I don't think Auburn's going to beat them.
If that happens, the Wolves are going to be at the door. Right? They're coming for his head. Like that ain't going to work in Alabama, buddy.
But
Woo!
I think you're dead on with that, and all y'all that are listening, I would love some feedback on your thoughts on this, especially if it's feedback that downs Alabama. But
I mean,
any feedback.
hey, you got to look at it. Georgia isn't losing a lot. South Carolina may give them a scare, but Tennessee is loaded. Give them
I think
credit.
Kentucky gives them a scare. Do they
Missouri,
have, do they have Kentucky this coming year?
no,
I
no.
don't know. Okay.
They
Yeah,
got Western Kentucky, but that don't really count.
no.
Missouri is going to be back. LSU is going to be solid.
Yep.
Oklahoma, they're going to be rough. And I think Auburn's going to have a big step up. They got a late push. I think they're going to be good.
That's the only one I don't agree. The Auburn's the only one I don't agree.
Hey, Auburn always gives them a fit every year. You got to figure if they're coming off a loss
Yeah.
at Oklahoma, because they got to go to Oklahoma, and I think Oklahoma beats them. That happens, man, they're a down game. They just ain't getting up. We'll see.
Well, we'll see.
We'll see.
Well, what you got new for Middle Tennessee
Hey,
area?
if you are from Middle Tennessee and you don't pay attention a lot to politics and what's going on in the legislature and things like that, Tennessee has got on the books this week our first toll road proposed. And it's more like we already have an HOV lane, but it's not enforced. So if you're in Georgia or Florida, you have the express lanes and you can buy your Sun Pass or your Peach Pass or whatever to get in that lane and go real fast and, get off. And I get it. It's sexy. It would be great if our roads were built that way, but our roads are not built that way. Our roads are barely built at all. I mean, we got potholes that you can lose a small car in. And
That's
you're
right.
going to tell me that
The Tennessee state animal is the orange barrel, right?
I mean, I heard it was the mockingbird, but it's making fun of the orange barrel. So if you don't know, like our roads just aren't built for that extra lane. I mean, you got to build that lane out. And I mean, if you've been to Atlanta, you understand they got that far left lane and it has its on ramps and on off ramps. And we ain't got that here. Have you seen that?
I have. And, in Atlanta, they are straight up freaking Nazis about it, dude. I mean, I used to drive a 52-foot trailer. Oh, bless you. I used to drive a big truck a lot, man. And I tell you what, if you rode for more than half a mile in that left lane in a big truck in Atlanta, I guarantee you were getting caught. You were getting pulled over for it. But I don't. Tennessee's not going to be like that. This is a terrible idea.
I think it's a bad idea. I don't
Yeah.
think it passes. I know that it's up for proposal in 3 cities: Knoxville, Chattanooga, and Tennessee or Nashville. Knoxville is probably the best city that's built for it. Chattanooga is the worst city that's built for it, and they have the worst problem. I mean, listen, I complain about 24 all day long, but that 75-24 split right there in Chattanooga, they only got one split. You'd think out of one split, they get one right. I mean, Nashville's got 3, Knoxville's got 1, but man,
Chattanooga's terrible. When you go up that hill and go when you're headed towards Georgia and
make that turn.
Yes, that's freaking terrible. I hate that area, dude.
Just understand you're stopped. I mean, and I get it. They've done a lot to improve it. The worst thing they did, and it's caused problems. I mean, it'll be a long-term solution. They put the Nashville, which goes left, on the right-hand side to get off on if you're coming up from Georgia. But it was a change. It used to be on the left-hand side, and you just go left. Now it's a right-hand, so it's just going to take time for people to get used to that. And it is going to be a long-term solution. But, I mean, coming 75 from Knoxville going to Nashville, they got 6 lanes, and it still backs up because you go from 6 to 3.
What is that? It's a 640 or something like that cuts around the outside of Knoxville. It takes you back over. It takes you from 40 to 40. It takes you right there. Just
I don't know. Split. I thought it was 240, but maybe 640.
It's something like that. But I mean, when you at the junctions on both sides of that, it's bedlam. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. I mean,
so no, I'm not a big fan of these toll road type things at all. You know,
listen, if you're going to do it right. But Nashville
yeah,
can't do it right. I mean,
I don't know that you can do it right without having at least 8 lanes of traffic. I don't
well,
know
you
that you
got to
can.
build that lane towards it. I mean, you got to build the lane for the interstate, and Nashville can't do that. I mean, we've already built it, and if you try to build it again, like they did with Briley and the Briley Parkway loop,
Right there
you
at
get in.
the airport area, right?
Yeah, you get into the politics, and then a construction company goes bankrupt, and then they buy the construction company out of the bankrupt, the same owners, and we're not going to talk about that because they got paid twice.
Yeah.
And that was the Nashville before everybody moved here. So, it's what it
Well,
is. But I
we'll
think
see
it's a
what
bad
happens with
idea.
that.
I hope it doesn't pass. But I mean, we're in election year, so anything's possible. I mean, I think I saw something the other day that we will have the most elections or seats up for grab than we've had in like 60 or 70 years. It's really crazy. I mean,
A lot of
it's
folks fed up with it, man.
and they should be. I mean, we've already started seeing some of the caucuses. We had the Iowa caucus in the presidential election. Trump just won that by a landslide.
And
Got
so,
99% of the precincts. He lost the other precinct by one vote. One vote. It's
yeah,
crazy.
so from what I understand, it was it Nikki Haley came in second, or
Nikki Haley, no,
it
well,
was Haley?
the DeSantis got second, but Nikki Haley won the other precinct.
Yeah,
Um, it one vote, and hey, that precinct she won is so blue that it should be the ocean.
yeah.
It's a super democratic, district.
Yeah, so I saw something that was pretty interesting for Tennessee as far as things going on in politics. So Tennessee Republicans right now they're trying to make changes where basically they force it where child rapists are to face the death penalty if they committed that crime while they're an adult.
I'm
Um,
okay with that.
Oh, I'm okay with that too. There's a little bit, a little bit of backlash for it.
From
Believe it or
who?
not, honestly, majority of Democrats are kind of going along with that. There's some Democrats that do not. But yeah, so Tennessee Republicans are trying to make the death penalty something for child rapists. Man, I am
I'm
all
all
over
for it.
that. All
I'm
over
all
that.
for it. Listen, I believe everybody gets a second chance, but if you are doing something to a kid, your second chance should probably be a little thought of
Yep.
because you're taking advantage of a person. Now, assuming you're an adult, because if you're a
Yeah,
12-year-old kid,
you don't face a death penalty if you're not an adult.
yeah, if you're a 12-year-old kid and you're banging a 10-year-old kid, I don't know. I don't, that's weird. You haven't learned it. Your brain's not even fully formed. That's why we don't
Right.
let, that's why we
I'm
don't,
on that same thought process as if it's an 18-year-old person with a 16-year-old person. No, you don't deserve nothing like that. But
getting a little
if
gray on me, but yeah, I get
well,
it. I get what
if we're going to the statutory,
that's
if it's not
statutory.
statutory,
Yeah, statutory.
yeah,
Yeah.
then
And then you got to look at stuff like were they dating at 17? I get it. I mean, hey, I was 17 dating a 15 and I turned 18 and I'm like, hey, dad, we gonna have a problem? I was
I
there.
can't say no. When I was 18, I was dating a 15-year-old. I can't say nothing about it.
Yeah, I mean, we've been dating for 6 months. I mean, 7 months. I mean, what do? You can't just break it off because you turn 18. That's weird.
But as long as it's statutory, as long as there's some sort of consent.
Yeah.
But no, I'm 100% on with this. If you are an adult and you rape a child, heck yeah.
Now, here's the kicker, and we don't hear this argument much, but when we do, it's always swept under the rug. What if the rapist is a woman? It's a different story. I mean,
it's hard. It's hard. Yeah, it's hard to.
We don't judge women that are dating. I mean, a woman, 18-year-old woman dating a 15-year-old boy. We don't judge them and say, "Oh, it's statutory." You're just like, "Oh, that kid's a stud," and that's sad. I mean, we look at that differently. I mean, if you look
it is, and it's hard to follow along with because I mean, you think about it. You go back to high school. there was some teachers that you were like, good bless, man, and had you done, all your buddies been like, high five, high five, high five, so yeah, it is. It's a double
Listen,
standard. It's hard.
I've dated women much younger than me.
That's
Married
easy.
one much younger than me, engaged to one much younger than me. Now, when I say much younger, I'm talking 15, 18 years. And I've I've gotten friends and family. Oh, she's too young for you. You're a perv. But for a woman, she's a cougar. It's a hot thing. It's a completely different story. You never see a woman 50 years old going after a 21-year-old guy, 23-year-old guy, and them like, oh, you're weird. They're like, oh, get that young boy. And that's a
It
different.
is. It's very. There's a double standard on both sides of it all the way through.
And I'm not saying
You
it's
know,
right or wrong either way. I don't know. I mean, I don't judge people. I think love is love. Um, I'm not, I'm definitely dating someone younger than me. I mean, she's not 20, 15, 10 years younger than me, but I mean, God, she's 9, 8 years younger than me. And it's got nothing to do with age. It's got something to do with their actions and their maturity and how they carry
maturity level. That's
themselves.
it.
And
Right now.
and I mean, and I can say that about the other women that I dated that were a lot younger than me. I mean, I dated a girl that was half my age, but she was very mature for her age. And she had a kid. She had a kid at 17. So by 24, 25, she wasn't a young parent. She was an older parent. Like her kid was 8, 9 years old. I mean,
Yeah.
she had matured beyond her years. And I mean, if you tell me when I was in school, somebody's got an 8-year-old kid, I'm thinking she's 30. Now 25's not unheard of. I mean, it's just changed. Our society's changed. I think the big thing that's happened with social media is our social media and their algorithms. This may be conspiracy theory for you, but our social media algorithms have encouraged young adults to maybe have a kid early, but not become a family, not become a growing family. Hey, you might have a kid at 15, 16, that's fine, but do not become a family until you're 35. Don't become a 2, 3-person, 4-person, 5-person household ever. And if you do, make sure you're 35. Where if you look at a country like China, the algorithms and everything they do says, hey, at young adults, have 3 or 4 kids, become successful. And if you look at something like TikTok algorithms, we see a lot of dancing, a lot of making fun of, a lot of useless stuff. But in China, those same algorithms are like, be productive, go to school, learn a degree, learn a trade, have a family. And, how many times have you opened up TikTok and seen a family atmosphere and how great it is to have 3 kids at the table and full meal and stuff like that? It never happens. You see
TikTok
dancing.
it derives very much around what you look at. My
Sure.
TikTok is honestly, my TikTok has a lot of golf. It
Okay.
has a lot of hunting and it has a lot of horses. I really don't see, because
You don't have
originally,
like the random girls popping up that, are dancing.
because it goes off of what you watch and what you look at.
You don't
If
have girls dancing.
No, I really don't see any
Yeah.
dance. I don't really
Eh,
see a whole lot of kids. I really don't.
I'm not talking about kids. I'm talking like 25-year-old girls dancing. You don't see that?
I don't. No,
Uh, Come on
I
now.
don't. Like 90, like seriously, if you go through 10 videos in my TikTok, it'll be golf and it will be maybe bourbon or cigars and horses. That's
Mine's
it.
pretty much mine's pretty much bourbon, suits reruns, and occasional girl
Love
dancing.
suits. God, I love suits.
Yeah. Hey, that was a good thing. We saw the awards this last week, and they had the suits reunion there. And if you didn't see it, Harvey and Mike were on stage, and they're talking. And Mike's like, we're coming to this award, and I don't remember what it was. I know it's one of the last ones tonight. Now you've been sitting here all night waiting to get your acknowledgement, and sometimes you just have to wait a while. And Harvey looks over and goes, "Yeah, I mean, it's like, sometimes you have to wait years for people to recognize like how good you were." And Mike's like, "Was that meant for us?" Like it was
Yeah,
pretty good. I mean, that show's been off the air for 5 years, and now they're just now getting,
there's a
the
lot of people
acknowledgement of
that
how
are
good
just,
it was.
I mean, shoot, I just found it earlier in the spring, and
Are
it
you
took me
kidding
most of the
me?
spring. No, yeah,
I
yeah,
watched it. I watched it religion. I had a Harvard shirt. My girlfriend my fiance at the time got me a Harvard shirt because she thought I was Mike Ross. She was like, you remember all this crazy stuff. Like, and we watched it religiously.
yeah. No, so the TikTok will do snippets of videos, and
Yeah.
so one of the videos that came up was when Mike Ross went in with Harvey Specter, and he was doing, testing him. He was like, you pick anything out of the
Yeah.
book, and
Open up that computer.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And so that was the video. And so I was like,
Yeah.
man, that's pretty cool. And so that's how I found it. And so I found it probably April or whatever. And I was done with the entire series by August. And dude, yeah, I mean, I just
Now
absolutely
I watched it
loved
from
it.
the inception. I watched it from the inception. I love learning. I love memory. And my fiance at the time, Nadia, was was big on your memory. If you want to learn it, you're going to remember it and you're going to remember it in detail. And if you don't want to learn it, you just never it's out of your mind. But if you
Yeah.
learn it, it's stored in your brain just like Mike Ross, and you can quote it, you can talk about it, and you can incite it. And I get it. I mean, that's how he was. If he if he read it and learned it, he didn't forget it. And
Right.
she said, you're Mike Ross made over. And I was like, I don't know what that. And then she would randomly, funniest thing, she would randomly ask me questions from like when because I helped her study for, she was getting her pharmacy license. And man, she had to take some weird stuff. In fact, she had to take a course on terrorism, which just sounds crazy, but it was just part of the curriculum. And man, I could recite stuff about terrorism. You could ask me questions about Afghanistan and Iraq and Malaysia, and I just quote it. And she's like, "How do you know that?" And I knew her terrorism stuff better than she did. And we always talk like if somebody ever listened, to if let's say because we would have emails back and forth or text messages. And I was like, man, if the government's ever listen to this, they're going to think I'm a terrorist, like because I know stuff that the normal person shouldn't know. I mean, it was not fun, but we had a great time learning that stuff, and I love learning. I mean, it's you're never old to learn something new,
That's right.
and it's one of my three mottos to live by. You're never too old to learn something new.
That's for sure. That's for sure.
Hey, another one that I really like this one. The worst thing that's ever happened to you is the worst thing that's ever happened to you, not anybody else. So let's say you're a very secluded person, you've grown up and you were very well taken care of, you didn't have to worry about food or a job or your parents providing, and you get a flat tire. And you've never had a broken bone, you've never suffered tragedy, nobody's ever died around you. That flat tire is going to seem like a world changer, but it's the worst thing that's ever happened to you, not anybody else. So if you're in a situation where you've had cars that blown up, you've had your best friend die, your mom and your dad die, and you've lost your job, you've been through a couple of divorces, and uh, your kids don't talk to you, a flat tire. Yeah. All right. I'll
Yep.
fix that. I'll fix that in 5 minutes. So,
Right.
I had this conversation this week. The worst thing that's ever happened to you is the worst thing that's ever happened to you, not anybody else. So you got to judge every person by their history, not by their situation. Because if somebody handles a flat tire and completely loses their mind, I may be thinking like, why? But in the same sense, I don't know their circumstance. I don't know their life. I don't know their belief systems and what they came up to. So I can understand that may be very troublesome for you, you know. So, you know, in one sense, I want to side with the people that are like, hey, you misgendered me. That's the worst thing that's ever happened to me. I don't think it's that bad, but in the same sense, I don't know your life. You know, maybe that is the worst thing that's ever happened to you. But to me, it's just confusing. I don't understand it. So I don't understand that it's that bad. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, yeah, makes perfect
Yeah, I
sense.
mean, it's one of my 3 rules. So I won't go into the third one because I'll leave that for future episode.
Does it have anything to do with bourbon?
No, nothing to do with bourbon. It's got to do with the people you surround yourself with.
I got you. I got you.
Oh,
I
yeah.
got you. So, well, we're getting to that point where we probably need to start wrapping up.
Yeah,
One
buddy.
good thing I will tell you, Bush is going to be stopping in Nashville at the Municipal Auditorium on August 9th.
The beer?
Yes, the beer. No, and
The,
not George Bush either. Bush,
no,
the
the band.
band,
Oh,
is
okay.
celebrating their 30th anniversary. Hold on, let me look at my paper. What is it called? Loaded, the greatest hits tour. So some of the people
Bad. Not the
Jerry
bad.
Cantrell, Candlebox. I mean, come on, man. We're talking like straight up our later youth. But yeah,
That's,
coming to town. Candlebox to be in town. Uh, in my opinion, it's pretty awesome news.
I mean, that was a little after me. I mean, I'd already moved up the channel by then,
You're
but I get
older
it.
than me. It is not after you.
That's definitely after me. By the time Bush came around, I was already into rap and grunge metal.
Come on, man. Anyway, so pre-sale started yesterday, I'm pretty sure, and then the general on sale tickets will be available at 10 a.m. on Friday. So yeah, bushofficial.com/tour.
Is this one of those affiliate marketing plans?
No,
We're not
I'm
getting
just
paid for
saying, this
this.
is the music of my after high school life. Once high
Okay.
school was
Okay.
over, you got Bush, you got Candlebox, you got Soundgarden. I mean, come on, man. You've got
Listen,
to be in that era.
hey, if you want to affiliate market, I have no problem with that. We're a growing company. We're
Yep.
going to have one day. And if we got to take corporate sponsorships, so be it. But if we're not getting paid, I don't know anything about no Bush. Unless it's a beer. But hey, if you enjoy that type of music, I got no problem with it. I enjoy all kinds of music. In fact, Morgan Wallen's got a new song coming out. Did you hear that?
I did not hear that, but I do love Morgan Wallen.
It's it's named after me. It's called I Guess I'm the Problem.
Yeah, well, I can understand that. Yeah,
You can see that how you can see how it's named after me, right? I guess I'm the problem. Just call me the problem. But yeah.
Well, heck yeah.
Good stuff. Good stuff. If you are in Middle Tennessee, we want to hear from you. We want to know what you think about it, what you want to see, what you want us to discuss. We got some special guests. If you didn't see Chris's video coming out, coming up, we got some good special guests coming on from people in the Middle Tennessee industry. I'm going to add a few to that list in the next couple of weeks. I'm going to be signing those guys up. But we want to see what you want out of us. I foresee us making the rounds, doing some downtown stuff, maybe broadcasting from a couple of different spots as we grow and as we get there.
Yeah.
I actually have a couple of things coming up that I'm going to be doing on our up and coming TikTok and YouTube. We're on YouTube right now. Obviously, we're on YouTube and Rumble and Spotify, but I'm going to do some stuff on our YouTube Reels and Instagram Shorts and TikToks. And it's kind of, I think it's going to be cool. It's kind of in that Dave Portnoy type situation. But yeah, it's going to be fun. I haven't even talked to Chris about it, but it's gonna be some good stuff.
And those of you that have been keeping up with the TikToks that I put out, the clip that I made about Donnie's thoughts on Deion Sanders going to Alabama. Oh my goodness.
Oh Lord. I'm an
First off,
idiot.
it blows
I
up
was,
front, okay, but
I,
there were so many people that bashed Donnie. They were just on top of it. But the funniest thing is I would guarantee you half of those people had something about Alabama in the name of their TikTok account. They,
hey, I can tell you this: they did not want Deion Sanders.
they don't want Deion at all.
They did
So,
not like
you know,
Deion. I think they might be from Alabama, might have a little bit of that grudge. So
there,
I, I'll say,
there's,
I'll say
there's,
this: I think Alabama made the wrong choice.
but you know what? Here's the thing, man. One of those people that responded, I don't remember what the name was on it, but he had said, he or she, whichever it was, had said, Alabama does not need the media attention that Deion brings. Let me tell you something. When DeBoer disappoints, like 90% of America realizes he's going to disappoint because you were so used to Nick Saban and it is not going to be a Nick Saban team. Yes, you are going to want the
Yeah.
attention that Deion Sanders would have brought.
Here's
100%.
here's the thing you're going to want. We're going to get to a spot, and this is a prediction, where media hype and contracts for NIL is worth just as much as winning games because
Yep.
it's going to equate to
Isn't that
winning
terrible?
games.
That sucks. And I don't like that at all.
Hey, listen, it's the way of the future. I mean, you got to look at it this way. Our society has become a social media society. And if you are a coach and you don't have a big social media presence, you are not going to do well. I mean, listen, LSU's head coach is a clown. He's a clown. He literally does TikTok dances with recruits. But guess what? He got those recruits. That's Nick Saban's not going to do a TikTok video with a recruit. He's not going to do a dance. Then, at some point he wouldn't go get those guys.
Yep.
And that's a huge thing. I mean, it's going to be as we move forward, it's going to be something that you just have to absorb into your facilities and into your character and into your system. And I don't like it, but I can understand why it's happening. If you're going to sign this 5-star recruit that's got 1 million followers on Instagram, you understand that 1 million followers is worth X dollars.
That's
and
right.
and you've got
and it has nothing to do with football. That's what sucks.
No. I mean, it's got something to do with the personality that they have built up and the following they have built up and what they deserve for that following. Because you understand they're going to post something on there that's going to be worth X dollars to them, but it's also going to bring your school X media attention. So you can tell me that you don't want the media attention that Deion brings, but somebody's going to.
Yep, and it is. I mean, Deion's not going to be in Colorado in 5 years. He's just not. He's going to be in a Power 5 school, in my opinion. No,
he won't be in the NFL. I honestly thought
he might. He might.
Nah, I honestly thought he'd be at Orlando, but now that I look at it, Alabama. He didn't get it. So it's probably too early. So expect him in a couple of years. And now I can get some. Listen, already got the Alabama haters over here going whatever. Let me go and get the Miami haters saying he's not our coach. But I'll tell you what, if there's anybody that's ever been a Miami coach and Miami limelight, Miami player, it's him. I mean, because I don't think he goes back to Florida State, his alma mater. But man, he's built for Miami. That's the big show.
He's built for anybody that needs the attention, man. They say that there's no such thing as bad marketing. He's built for anybody that needs that attention.
Yeah, I mean,
because you put him in Colorado where nobody wants to be, and they are the smallest little blip on anybody's radar, and now all of a sudden they get 2 wins and they go to number 14 in the country. Of course, they lost after that. But I'm just saying, that's the kind of attention that he brings.
Hey, give him credit.
He will be with a Power 5 school
Give him
within the
credit.
next 3 to 5 years.
He took a crap team and gave them life, gave them hope, gave them an offense. Now, did he give them a defense? No. I mean, but defense is harder to build than offense. I mean, and I don't, again, not a head coach, never coached, but I can look at it from an outsider and say, hey, if I get enough speed on the edges, I'm just going to outrun the coverage and throw the ball deep.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much what they did. I mean, he had a lot of good speed with Horn and Travis Hunter, and you know, his son played his butt off.
Yeah.
Had a good running back. So yeah, I mean, I can see that. Give him a couple of years and you might be surprised. He might end up in Miami or somewhere else. But I think he goes to a big conference in the next 3 or 4 years, especially after his kids graduate. Somebody's
Yeah.
gonna offer him a job.
I agree with you. All right, well, tune in with us next week. I've got a feeling that we're probably going to be talking about who actually took the Titans head coach position. There's a lot of stuff that's going on in Nashville, Middle Tennessee right now. There's a lot of things that are. Oh, by the way, I didn't tell you. It's Thomas Frist, I believe. The guy that started HCA.
The Frisk.
Yeah, his house is on the market for it's under contract for $32 million.
That's a lot of cojones. That's a lot of racks. Is that the highest in the state so far that sold?
It's a potential record right now. Yeah. Now
I know we got another one. We got another one that's up for like 60 million, right?
Yeah, there's one for 65, 64,
but it's not under contract.
Million, but it's not under contract. So this one is under contract at 32. So from what I understand, they originally put it on the market in spring of 22 at 50 million. In 23, they dropped the price to 40 million. And so, yeah, now they're at 32 and actually under contract. So as it stands, if it goes, it is a record for Tennessee.
What did he pay for it? Do you know?
Well, he bought the property for $2 million, but the property that it's on, and then he built the house.
Oh, okay. Okay. I was like, damn, so 2 to 32 is a big
property. Right. Yeah,
no, so
capital gains. There was nothing there. He bought the property for $2 million, and then he built the house.
So we don't know what he spent on it.
But
I was going to say, that's a big capital gains.
The classical, goodness, I can't remember what the style of house it is, but it's 5,000 something. No, excuse me, it's 20,000 square foot total. It's got 5 bedrooms. It's got 6 full baths, 4 half baths. It's got a pool with a in-law suite or a secondary house that's on it, and it's sitting on 50 acres. So, I mean, it's immaculate for sure.
Yeah.
But $32 million, man, possible Tennessee record, and shoot, I'd take it all day. Take it all day.
Yes, sir.
It's a beautiful place. It's got the big columns in the front of the house, that kind of canvas the whole front entrance of the house.
Okay.
I mean, it's a beautiful house.
Awesome. Well, I mean, it's cool to see, but I mean, I'm looking forward to this other one going to the market. I know it's on the market. I want to see who's going to buy it. I mean, it's on a lot of land. Isn't it like 1,000 acres or something?
No, I don't think it's that much.
But it's a lot. It's like over 100.
Yeah, but
it's over 100.
I'd have to look at it again, but yeah, I think it's sitting at like 65 million.
Yeah.
It's 60 something million. They talked about it a couple of weeks ago as it would be the record or whatever. But in my personal opinion, I think they're high. Unless they want to just keep it there for 3 or 4 years and see if they can't get that amount. But Tennessee, Nashville used to be a top 10 city for hottest in America for the places, but now we're still top 20, but we are not top 10 any longer.
Gotcha.
So I don't see them getting 60 something million dollars.
Gotcha. But yeah, we've never been known for those massive estates.
We haven't, no.
No, I mean,
but the thing is they're here. They're not publicized. There's not a lot of talk about them, but there are some absolutely amazing properties out there.
But they just, yeah, I mean,
Just
I
go
remember
under
when
the radar.
I remember when Faith and Tim bought that house over in
Oh yeah.
Dunlead,
Oh yeah.
and it was never on the market. It went off market. I mean, I know their neighbors, family, friends. I say neighbors that live across the street. Um, Never on market. They made a cash offer off market because they like the secludedness of it.
Yeah.
And I mean, quiet under the radar. I mean, that's how country music stars and these big city people or
Yeah.
big stars operate. They're not going to buy a house that's on the market. They're going to find someplace they love, and then they're just going to go and be like, I'm going to give you some number. You name your price,
Yeah.
you know, because I want to live here. And that's how
It'll
Nashville's
be
always been.
it'll be very interesting to see what happens with it. It'll be I'm looking forward to see if we hit the record with it or not.
Yeah, that'd be
Um,
cool.
but all right, man. Man, I feel like this was a great, very informative and fun episode.
Yeah,
And I
and we'll
went
be
to
back
Ohio
with you
for a
very
bigger pour
soon.
of stag, so you can't beat that.
No, no, I'm feeling the heat.
Well, all right. Well, we'll be back next week with Music City Mix, and stay tuned because here coming in the future, starting in February, we're going to start having some guests on. If you want to go to our YouTube page, I kind of highlighted who those guests are going to be. But the first couple of weeks, we'll have people like Austin Smith from Party Foul. We'll have Zach Allen from Buddy Allen Carpet One. We try to keep everything local because that's what we're about. You know,
Yep.
this is all things Middle Tennessee. So we want business people, business owners, and influencers from the Middle Tennessee area. Donnie's got some amazing people that are coming on as well. So
I do. And
hang
remember,
on, hang out, and keep up with us. And I'm going to make some great snippets from this podcast and put them on social media. We got a lot of traction on Donnie's ideas on Deion Sanders. So
but
we
remember,
will continue that for this one. And for sure, this has been a great time. And man,
and
Donnie,
remember, like I said, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. We're gonna be on all those. If we're not
yes,
already, we're gonna be on them very soon. And we got some cool things coming. I'm excited. I know you are as well. Uh, hey, it's gonna be a fun ride.
it's going to be fun. And guys, we need y'all. Spread the word, like, follow, share, subscribe, click the bell on YouTube, whatever all that crap is, man. Just whatever you can do to help us out, we sure appreciate it. And I guess, man, we'll get this get this wrapped up, and we'll be back next week. So I guess we'll
See you
talk
next
at
time.
you later.
Same bat time, same bat channel. Isn't that what they say?
That's right.
All right.
All
buddy.
right. Well, thank you again. Y'all have a great night. We'll see you next week.